The world may soon learn who the artist known as Banksy really is, despite successfully keeping their identity hidden for the past 25 years. Now, Banksy is the type of artist who weighs in on current events, politics, geopolitical issues through his art or her art. We don't know the identity of this person, of course. And as you can see, the latest artwork from Banksy was basically discovered outside the Royal Courts of Justice in London. And as you can see, it depicts a judge beating a protester who's holding a bloodied sign with his gavel. So as you can imagine, some elite individuals are not really in favor of this type of political commentary. So Banksy confirmed the piece on his Instagram account with a rare and unusually explicit caption: Royal Courts of Justice, London. So the timing of the mural, just days after the reported arrest of over 900 pro-Palestinian protesters across the UK, and shortly after the Royal Court's decision to reject an appeal by Palestine Action, has sparked widespread interpretation. While the work makes no explicit reference to these events, the choice of site, the institutional symbolism, and the visual language of protest and power all suggest a deeper critique. I mean, that was my view of the artwork as well. Now, Banksy, again, is a very political artist, but this latest work may have taken things too far for some, I guess, because Banksy put the mural on a building with a grade 1 listed heritage designation. So now there is this effort to try to uncover who Banksy is. So this obviously was intentional. Banksy chose this location intentionally. And according to Mediaite, this building is comparable to a US site with both federal landmark status and maximum preservation protections. So an HM Courts and Tribunal Service spokesperson said in a statement that the work would be removed from the building. Quote, the Royal Courts of Justice is a listed building and HMCTS are obliged to maintain its original character, they said. But Metropolitan Police have confirmed to news outlets earlier today that this will be treated as a potential crime, criminal damage, essentially. Additional details, including whether or not the charges will be pressed against Banksy, haven't been disclosed yet. But if they do decide to go in that direction, it is possible that this person, this artist, would be compelled to reveal their true identity. Except they've done a pretty good job hiding their identity, and there will be no punishment if this person's identity is never revealed. So
no, this person's in a lot of trouble because they touched Israel. I mean, they'd be lucky if they're not called a terrorist and executed. This is about a protest in favor of Palestine, and so that's why that painting is, that work of art is so symbolic, because that is not just the UK and not just the courts, but that is the governments of almost all the Western nations beating us to a pulp for disagreeing with Israel. Can you please not support a genocide or ethnic cleansing, etc.? And the courts in the UK and everywhere else to beat you to living hell. How dare you oppose Israel? How dare you, right? And so that's why that resonates. So and when it resonates, they get more touchy. And then Israel says, hey, dogs, that's it, I want Banksy. That's it, I want him. He offended me. That's a big problem. So Banksy's in a lot of trouble.
And look, to be fair, what Banksy is commenting on here is the way that the government has essentially arrested individuals in the UK over their speech. And I understand that they have different speech laws.
We have freedom of speech here.
We do.
But it has an asterisk now. If you boycott Israel or you criticize Israel, you could be arrested, deported, your contract's canceled. So First Amendment, except if you criticize Israel.
So Palestine Action is now considered a banned group in the UK. And just last Friday, I had covered a story with Dave Smith and Scott Horton about how individuals in a completely different organization who want to support Palestine Action and Solidarity got arrested because they were organizing through Zoom meetings. They weren't organizing any type of criminal activity. They weren't organizing any type of attack against anyone. They were just organizing demonstrations, which, by the way, did take place over the weekend.
So at this point, if you support Palestinians being human beings and having a right to live, you'll get arrested in the UK. And here too, if you're not a citizen, and if you are a citizen, you're again not allowed to boycott them. Israel has all sorts of special rules. So you should put up the artwork by Banksy one more time, because I want you guys to realize this is all of our governments on behalf of Israel. And that's not Palestinians, that's our citizens. British citizens, US citizens, the citizens of Europe being bludgeoned by our own government on behalf of Israel. Take away our rights, take away our freedom. How dare you be opposed? Imagine if they did this in the middle of the Holocaust. You're offending the Germans. That's it, take them away. No one's allowed to oppose Germany. If you're opposed Germany and you're doing a peace protest to save Jews from the Holocaust, that's a throw them in jail. Okay?
I'm sure that did happen.
Look, not in the UK, because obviously
not
they were.
In the UK.
But in some countries, I'm sure that did happen. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And now it's being repeated. And last thing I'll say is, do we have? Look, for me, it's not racial or religious at all. Okay, I'm not white. I'm not whatever. Right? But do we have pride as Americans? In Britain, do you have pride as being British? You have pride in your sovereignty in your country? Are you comfortable with being servants of Israel? Because I'm not comfortable with it. That's not what I signed up for. So if you have pride in being Irish, Norwegian, whatever it might be, the bare minimum we could ask our governments is to represent us and not a different government. It's not to be hateful and it's not about religion, but it is a bare minimum ask. You're supposed to represent us in a democracy instead of bludgeoning your own citizens if they oppose a different foreign government. The corruption of the Western governments by Israel is obvious, sickening, and revolting. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.